Let's go diving.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Hungry Pelican. We're going to go diving today out of Clearwater, Florida. You can see there we're on the boat. We're getting ready to head on out. And a little disclaimer right away. This dive is not going to be near as dramatic as that intro was. Okay, but we received our dive briefing. We were told the water conditions was 67 degrees, which is, you know, when you think of 67 degrees and you go outside and it's not bad, is it? But then you get into 67 degree water and wow, is that not cold or what? So we're at the dive site. We're only in a depth of around 35 to maybe 40 feet deep, so very, very shallow, which gives us a lot of underwater time. The deeper you go, the faster you go through your air. That's just the way it is. In my case, I'm using nitro. And you can see there, I'm in the water, and my two dive buddies are getting in the water. Here comes the last one. And these two ladies who were kind enough to let me join them on the dive, all I did was essentially just follow them down, follow them around. So here, you would think that with a big old aluminum tank on your back that weighs probably about 30 pounds, maybe a little less, I don't know, and then you got a heavy vest on, then you got all that gear on, and then the gear is actually strapped in with 7 pounds. You would think that you would just sink right away, but as you could see in that video clip before, we were actually having to pull ourselves down. So this is actually the second dive of the day. We are swimming over top of a sunken barge. You can see the coral is growing on the barge, so it's been there, I want to say it's been there since the 1980s. There's some just little fish swimming around the top of it. Not a whole lot of marine life on this trip. The water, as you can see, is not great. Our visibility is only about 10 foot, which is bad. In other words, you can only see about 10 feet away from you. And then you're not seeing very clearly. That's why I'm getting so many close-up shots of the coral and whatnot, because you just can't see. Yeah, I mean, you could see my dive partner there. You can make out my dive partner just barely. And she is probably about 10 foot away from me. And you can see my second dive partner there. I tried to remain within touching distance of her just because it was so cloudy. We're coming around the front of the boat here. We're swimming up, coming up to the bow. And wow, that is a Goliath grouper. Wow, let's look at that again. Yeah, this is a Goliath grouper. They are very territorial. I would rather deal with a shark any day than a Goliath grouper. I would say this guy probably weighs between 200 and 300 pounds. That's probably about average for a Goliath grouper anyway. And he just kind of showed up out of nowhere. We might see him a little bit later. We'll see. Here we have a couple of sheephead. You can see my dive partner there still reacting to the grouper. And I'm not certain what these sheephead are doing. If you know, send me a message. I wonder if that's mating behavior. I'm not certain. I saw these two sheephead later with what looked like I don't know, a litter of puppies, little bitty sheephead, swimming around with them. Definitely juvenile, but I don't know that fish actually have litters, and it would seem odd that they would have a fish family, but hey, who knows? There they are again. Caught me a couple of sheephead in my time. They are notoriously hard fish to catch, and you will find them around structures and jetties, and fishing piers too. Close up of the coral. See these holes around the boat. That's going to become important later on. We were told by our dive master that we should take a look inside of them and see what you can see. And here my dive partner is shining a flashlight in there, but unfortunately the visibility was so poor that even with a flashlight you just could not see in there. And there I pointed out to my dive partners what looks to me like a sea cucumber. But I would go up to these holes in the side of the boat and stick my GoPro in there, and the GoPro would automatically make adjustments to the dark, and it would light up, and I could faintly see some things, but it was more like just seeing lights and shadows. There was nothing that I could really make out. And here I'm going to break the number one rule of diving etiquette: don't touch anything. But I couldn't help myself. There's a little crab living in that shell, and all I wanted to do was see him, wish him well. This is some clips from the first dive of the day. We were diving on Veterans Day, and they're at outside of Clearwater, not far off the coast at all, within eyesight of land. You could. They have these statues that have been deliberately placed underwater. They call the Circle of Freedom, I believe, honoring veterans. And as you can see here, the visibility was just so poor, and to make it worse, for me, the visibility, for some reason, my goggles, or my mask rather, wouldn't allow me to focus, and so I've altered the footage here just to give it a little blur to show you how bad it is. The footage you see there in the top right of the screen is not from this dive, but to just show you how bad it can get. This is from my first certification dive up there, and this is middle of the day, 12 o'clock noon, and we are only 30 feet deep, and you can see without a flashlight, it is just pitch black. Just pitch black. We did actually manage to find an octopus on that dive. Yeah, that's me shaking my head saying, wow, this kind of sucks. You can't see even my second dive buddy, and here you can only see my dive buddy because she has a flashlight. We're back now at the second dive site of the sunken barge. So in the absence of good water, I would come up and just get little shots of little fish swimming around. So here we're coming around to the front of the boat, and remember those holes in the side of the boat? Well, I'm going to take a peek at one of them here real soon, just to see what I can see. There you saw the flashlight shine. Well, that's where my dive partner is. So I stick my GoPro in here, and it's pitch black. Oh my gosh! There it is. There's that same Goliath grouper we saw earlier. is hiding out in there. And what I don't know at this time, yeah, this is just a replay. What I don't know at this time is that Goliath grouper is there. To me, that entire inside of the ship there just was pitch black. So you never know what's lurking just out of sight. Okay, guys. Well, that trip is done. Thanks for joining me. Come back next time. My travels are wrapped up for a little while, so I'll see what I can get into.